Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends of all types. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer tournament. We have got for you one last match tonight. A little bit of a late one if you are in the US or, the western part of this globe. A little bit of a morning match if you are towards the Europe side. A little bit of an afternoon match if, like one of our competitors, you are from Australia. We've got for you Fellows versus Team City Escape in the doubles division of the tournament. Cleanfel and Kirefel versus Cutieroo and Trojandude. My name is Voligen. I'm here with Meldon tonight for commentary. And Meldon, I'm very excited for this match.
I am as well. This could be very close. I really have no idea. I don't know exactly what to expect. Cleanfel and Kirefel. I knew I was going to get that wrong, and then I just did it right off the bat. Kirefel and Cleanfel are both relatively unexperienced in the randomizer. I think Kirefel said he'd played 5 randos when he signed up for the tournament. Cleanfel's in the singles tournament, so he's been practicing clues a little more. On the other hand, Trojan and Cutie are a little more experienced with the randomizer, or at least doubles, from what I know. And Trojan's a very experienced Ori player in general, so I expect that all 4 players will be able to kind of find their way around this.
Yeah, I think so too. It will be very interesting to see. One of the things you pointed out there, Trojan and Rue, who have been a little more experienced with doubles potentially, they specifically are one of our couples teams who have the privilege of actually playing from the same physical location. They live together. They're going to play together. They can just literally talk out loud to each other and kind of reduces a little bit of that latency in the doubles play. So as we're getting started here, it'll be interesting to see how that comes into play for them, and whether their more kind of polished communication method is going to help them more than Cleanfel and Kirefel, who are kind of a little more I don't want to say ad hoc, but may not have practiced that as much. That looked like some wall jump to start us off there, Meldon. Meldon? Okay, we're missing a Meldon. It's okay. We've got some energy regen. We're going to get some pickups. But we are continuing on here, and we're going to get Spirit Flame picked up here, and we might be having some Discord difficulties, so that's probably the issue here.
All right. I don't know why Discord decided that my push to talk button was going to change, but it did. And it's now back to the one that I thought it was.
Well, that's perfect timing, because we have just alt-R'd back to the beginning of the game, having picked up Spirit Flame, wall jump, and energy regen, I believe. So we are now on our way to the left side here.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a chance that we might find some keystones here, but it's definitely looking like BRB is going to be the major option. Oh, and they find double jump as well. That is very exciting.
Yeah, it doesn't actually change the early progression too much, since wall jump's really the main one, but boy, it's going to make it a lot nicer to just traverse the early game here. Keystone showing up in that last spot, a vanilla keystone, and now we've got Cleanfel checking out the water, which is not clean, which is how he would have preferred it. And Kirefel finds out it's just an ability cell, so he's going to ditch it. Clean really wants to keep it. Neither Trojan nor Cutie even bothered checking it.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's trying to get this so much. I believe you can't actually open up the SA menu until you've leveled up your first time. So even if he got this ability cell, he wouldn't be able to skip this cutscene. So I think instead all 4 runners are going to have to watch this. So at least everyone will be on the same footing going into BRB.
I think you can if you have if you use the Spirit Well. You can't if you try to use a save point. I think that's how it works. But either way, we do have 3 instances of lore, and then we have our one diligent level upper, Cleanfel, entering BRB right behind Trojandude.
So everyone should focus on the top right or top left and bottom right, as they're going to be the first to check these couple pickups. BRB doesn't have very much, so it's going to be a little while before we likely find our progression. There's this first relatively slow pickup. We see Trojan waiting to rekindle that save.
That's pretty funny. I also liked Kirefel turning back after the cutscene to actually save the game and make sure if he dies inside BRB, he does not have to watch that a second time. So Clean managing to make it up to the XP first, and he finds that it's an energy cell. So again, Trojan getting the orb to fall down there. That's kind of an annoying thing to happen.
And we can see why a lot of runners don't really enjoy BRB in the randomizer. It's slow, there's a lot of little things that can go wrong, and often you end up just alt-Ring a bunch of times because it's faster to come in through this front entrance, even with this cutscene still here is Cleanfel had to deal with. Everyone else will be able to run through where there was a slow zone.
And Cleanfel was he wanted to make his way up to that top middle platform, which would have allowed him to check the roof XP, and didn't quite manage to do it. You can do it, but it just requires going up on the left wall where that slime is right now. I think Kirefel, he wants to try it too. Trojan and Rue, again, both just ditching that. They're just heading over to the right side to climb the platforms, but Cleanfel now does get that XP, and it's just 8 XP, so not particularly useful.
Of course, the useful thing is that means that Kirefel won't have to check that, so he can just go light the lantern and head right on into the next room. That 8 XP not being worthwhile. And it looks like at least 3 of our runners have an ability point right now for this next skip. Cutieroo does not, so she will end up having to watch the Darkness Lifted cutscene here, which is it's a nice little time save for the runners that will be able to skip this.
Yeah, it's also not the end of the world, certainly, because mostly, like, the things that Trojan's going to do while that cutscene's playing, he'll be able to check the pickup to the right. It's not technically in logic, and of course there's a good chance that it's just more XP or something, and Rue just does not even need to get it, in which case, no harm, no foul to some extent. There is still a time loss there, but it's not a very large one.
One of the things I love about this mapstone check they can do here is it's one of the few early pickups you can get that's gated by dash. So the information you get from that can tell you where dash is in the seed, or especially if it's buried or not. And that can be a very useful piece of information in terms of whether or not you want to dig a little more.
Yeah, and we see from Cleanfel that that mapstone is in fact just XP, so not a big deal. He does get a keystone from the dash tree and a keystone from the ability cell, and he opts to reload and ditch that keystone. And both he and Kirefel are going to continue down to the boulder chase section, while Rue and Trojan doing a little bit of splitting up here. Rue heading to the left side towards the wall jump tree, and Trojan is picking this mapstone up, and then he might also follow down into the boulder chase.
It does look like Rue didn't get this 3rd keystone that was available in BRB, so if there's only one more keystone over here, Rue won't have access to Spirit Caverns.
Yeah, and she wanted to throw in a quick check of that Fake Flippers pickup, but wasn't able to do so. Again, not a big deal. We know that it's just an ability cell, but you know, just it's one of those bits of information that her team won't have. And there's the first water vein shard showing up for Team City Escape on the bottom, coming from the 4th health cell there.
That is a very common pickup to get, so I would expect that fellows will find it as soon as they go through that door. Looks like a Valley Teleporter as well, which doesn't immediately offer anything for them. At least nothing in logic. They would require Bash to actually progress there. But that's a very nice pickup to find. Definitely can save some time in the late game.
I agree, and speaking of nice pickups to find, we have Glide from the health cell in the boulder chase area, so very nice pickup for both of the fellows up top, and they will be able to float on those wind currents a little bit later on. They don't have wind restored yet for the rest of the world, but when they get into Sorrow Pass, they will have an easy time of it. And Trojan is fast approaching that area, so he will claim that for Team City Escape as well, and then Rue will be able to get that information.
Also looks like there's a mapstone down here in BRB, so everyone who traverses this area will be able to put their first mapstone into the map altar down here in BRB. And looks like Kirefel is probably going to head up and do that as soon as he gets this teleporter, and we'll get our first map check.
I want to say that I saw him check it, but I forget what it was already, so it can't have been that interesting. We're seeing the left Glades loop check here from Rue, and she finds a couple keystones, which certainly are going to be pretty nice, make it possible to reach the Spirit Caverns in the near future, as Trojan does get Glide, and Rue also finds a health cell, so that's a really, really nice thing to find for pretty much any runner, but you know, possibly particularly Cleanfel, Kirefel, and Rue, who are not like, you know, in that like top echelon of like Ori and the Blind Forest speedrunners, whereas Trojan, you know, has a 30, yeah, I believe he has a 30 in all skills, which is a very good time. He's probably going to be comfortable being on low health for a long time, but Clean and Kyra and Cutie all might just want a little bit more safety.
Yeah, definitely. And Trojan's definitely shown in race experience, race setting that he can perform. Yeah, he made it to the semifinals of the All Skills tournament this year, so does well under pressure. Probably doesn't need that health, but I'm sure he'll be happy to have it, as all the runners currently need at least 5 health to get through the final escape, assuming they find Stomp and Bash and whatnot. But
yeah, speaking of things that Trojan is going to like to have, one of those things is Dash, which Rue just picked up from the wall jump tree, so that's a very nice find and is going to allow them to traverse the game world much more quickly. Clean and Kai are still mostly sticking together here, and they are just in this left wall jump-ish, you know, loop-de-loop thing, whatever people like to call it. So they will be collecting Dash before too long. They get their health cell, they get their keystones, etc., etc. Rue takes an Alt-R. Trojan's going to start in this section, and I'm curious if Rue's going to head over to Spirit Caverns.
That would be my expectation. This is a fairly linear seed so far, so there's not a lot else open right now. I'm actually trying to come up with any other pickups that are even in logic right now.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So we'll see what she's going to collect in here. Is Clean and Kai are both at the wall jump tree at pretty much the same time. And lots of pickups in Spirit Caverns, 5 in total. Kind of like to think of it as the hype cave of Ori and the Blind Forest, as there's a really good likelihood that something nice shows up here. So far, it's a keystone, a mapstone, the NPC quote-unquote ability cell is Stomp, so that's pretty big. And now we got 2 more keystones up here to check.
That's really big. That unlocks getting to Grotto right now through lower BRB, as they have Dash and Stomp. So that's that could be the progression that's expected of this seed. They also, it looks like they're at 2 keystones right now. So with that one that's in BRB, they might also be able to continue on to the Charge Flame tree.
Yeah, we'll see what else Ruth finds in here. Another keystone, so that's 3 for her right now, and the last one is just experience. So yeah, if she had taken, well, actually no, she did, I believe, take the ability cell keystone. No, she hasn't been to BRB, right? What has she done? God, I don't even know, Meldon, help me.
She's been to BRB. I thought she hadn't checked the ability cell, which I was basing that on. I thought that when Cleanfel got that keystone, he had 3, so everyone else leaving BRB with 2 meant they hadn't checked it. And there we see Cutieroo1 does go and grab that keystone. Looks like is going to immediately head back. Nope, is heading back down. I'm not sure. Oh, she's probably heading towards Grotto.
Yeah, she hadn't headed to the Razilno / Boulder Escape area yet. So she's going to go ahead and go there, what this looks like. And from there, she does have access into Gumo's hideout and the entire like right side of the map. So that's pretty good access for her team to have gotten. And the fellows will be acquiring that. In fact, Kirefel already having acquired Stomp, and Clean will be doing so very, very shortly. Is he trying to key dupe? Is that what we're getting here?
I wasn't looking, but if he is, that save is too close to the area to actually key dupe. It looks like he might be waiting. Is he waiting on energy regen so he can save again?
He did, in fact, wait on energy regen and his save cooldown to be able to set up a key dupe save. So, I mean, I like the knowledge involved in this play. I'm not sure if I like the play itself, but you know, from Cleanfel's perspective, this is probably pretty good to just say, let me just get a couple extra keystones and not have to worry about going to check one-off locations. Meanwhile, from Rue, we're actually seeing she's not checking Gumo's hideout yet. Maybe heading down to Grenade instead.
That is another area that's open to them right now. Of course, accessible with Stomp, Dash, and some wall interaction. So I can definitely understand Cleanfel's decision. He knows where that keystone is, but this gives him 2 extra keystones for a similar time cost, and we'll see if those end up mattering later if he has a keystone advantage.
Meldon,
if
look
everyone else
up
is starved.
top right, dude.
Yeah, we see Kirefel has gone to Valley, and I mean, I guess they have Glide. I'm not sure how I feel about this decision. He's gonna have
I
a
don't think he
lot of
has wind
trouble
restored.
traversing the spider section over here without rocket jumps.
Yeah, this is a very interesting play. It could be, you know, kind of he's taking a little bit of a long shot to just say like, hey, I have this available. It might be difficult, but let me just see if I can get like a huge advantage by doing this. So he is able to make it up and check this cell. It is just a keystone, unfortunately, without bash and without wind restored, he basically can't do anything else. So unfortunately, that play comes to an end. I would have been very excited if that had come to something, Meldon.
Yeah, that was quite the bold decision. And while he was doing that, Trojan checked Valley entrance and found that the stomp cell there is a second water vein shard. So that's 2 for his team altogether. I believe Cutie has collected one of those, but she'll need to collect the other one later. As she arrives at the light grenade tree, I think found some experience, but it's a tree that's checked off, and she won't have to come back here again.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. They're already up to 3 teams are City Escape between the 2 of them. Actually, Trojan's coming down to the Charge Flame tree now, so that's going to put him, his team at least, at 4. Kirefel now is making the play to head on into Gumo's hideout. As you can see, he's already dropped a mapstone, into the Blackroot map monument. And Cleanfel, for his part, is doing a very similar play to Trojan Dude, heading to the Hollow Grove, picking up the teleporter, and he will probably get the Charge Flame tree as well.
I noticed that Trojan lowered this log, but I wonder if he knows that you don't actually need to lower this. You can get all the way across to this tree from the far platform and don't have to bother with that little cutscene.
I think it's probably a matter of ease / difficulty. It's probably a little bit easier to just deal with it with the platform lowered. But in any case, he does get the check of the XP above the Charge Flame tree, and I don't even remember what it was, but probably not important. And the tree itself is an ability cell.
And with that, he's cleared everything out there. They need a way to break blue walls. Of course, they do have dash, so if they can get up to charge dash, that would give them a way to break plants as well.
Oh boy.
But I think they're both still a ways away. Ooh.
That's a big pickup on Cutieroo1's side. The right hanging XP in Gumo's hideout turning out to be charge jump. And Kirefel is right there as well, so I would expect him to be making the same pickup in the very near future for his team. So both teams going to be very, very happy to have charge jump access.
Yeah, indeed. And Rue is doing this. Grotto, the other mini boss. I had to go through all of the possible options. And this is it's normally a slow check, but that charge up pickup makes it way faster, so works out quite well. And we can see right there, it looked like she was 6 ability points away from charge dash, so still doesn't have plan access yet.
I'm interested in this play by Trojan, basically just kind of doing the grenade tree as well, just getting things out of his way that Rue has already done, and therefore it's not new knowledge for his team per se, but it is just getting them out of the way, making it so that later on down the line, there's not like some weird situation where like Rue has to go finish 4 trees and Trojan has a completely distinct set of 4 trees to go check. They're kind of together, but at the same time, they're kind of separating a little bit. I kind of like this. It's a different dynamic than what we usually see.
Yeah, I find, at least with my team, that if you leave too many trees unchecked for one player, that you often end up with at the very end of the seed kind of this weird dynamic where you have to waste a bunch of time, or it feels like you're wasting a bunch of time going and checking them later. So I definitely like this, just cleaning up the trees that you have available to you. And Trojan is now going to head on into Grotto as well. And we see Cleanfel heading to stomp that peg just moments after him. So soon everyone will be in Lower Grotto.
Notice to see a Gumon Seal Shard showing up on the Crusher XP. Crusher Keystone right near the double jump door. And so Kirefel and Rue claiming those for their respective teams. Clean beelining directly into Grotto and getting into Gumo's hideout, that is, and getting his charge jump from the one pickup that he really, really wanted. And he will now probably head directly to the double jump tree, as everything else was pretty optional as far as I saw.
Yeah, definitely. And Rue makes this check to this Frankie Walk XP to the right of start. You can get with Charge Jump. Finds it's just another keystone. So nice to have, but definitely not necessary. And is now teleporting back to Blackroot Burrows and will be heading back into Grotto. I assume she'll be heading up towards where the water vein is. Oh, actually teleporting to Grotto. Did they find the Grotto teleporter somewhere?
Yeah, they must have. Easily, probably something that we missed along the way. But with that in hand, they can head up into the the upper Grotto area, and also just like Hollow Grove, Swamp. They have many options from here. So tons of potential possibilities here.
Yeah, at this point, a huge swath of the right side of the map is open. They can even go almost all the way to Stomp. Ooh, and they find Charge Flame, so they don't even need to collect charged or level up Charge Dash. They now have the ability to open plants.
That is a very nice pickup, and Kirefel getting the same find right after Rue, so they're basically together at this exact moment in the exact same spot. And Cleanfel, for his part, he is going to also go to Grotto TP, but branch off a little bit here. Might be heading towards Death Gauntlet or to check some of these other things near the teleporter, such as this place that is sometimes known as Teeth Corridor.
Yeah, I know that you love that name.
Oh, I love lots of things, Meldon.
And he's only able to check this one pickup as he doesn't have a way to break the plant here. So if he wants to be very thorough about this area, and takes a minor death, we'll see if he decides to go back for... I actually didn't notice what that health cell was.
I believe it's an energy cell, so that actually would have been really nice for him since he's still on 2. But unfortunately, he not only does not get to keep it, but he also... wow, okay. Somehow that Crusher crushed him in that position. That was pretty weird, but sure, we'll allow it, game.
Crushers are a weird thing in this game. I never quite know how they work when they kill you. Well, except the case where it just crushes you from above.
Oh, Cleanfel is he's really playing it fast and loose with those Crushers, but he does manage to make it through to the remainder of Death Gauntlet here. With Charge Jump in hand, it's possible to check that roof health cell. However, he still has not claimed Charge Flame, which Kirefel found earlier, so he will not be able to check the plant right next to it. And there he gets Swamp Teleporter, so that's a really nice pickup that Kirefel probably wishes he had just a few seconds earlier.
Yeah, indeed. And Kirefel has made his way around past the Ginso tree and is continuing this loop through Swamp. And we see Cutieroo has made her way all the way over to the Spider Sack over here. So completely different routing from these two teams right now. And we'll see which team finds the next big pickup. Of course, they both have Charge Flame, so we'll likely see a lot of revisits to all the plants around the map.
I wish, they would take our feelings into consideration. It is way harder to commentate when all 4 of them are in completely different spots. But we'll live. As Rue is heading... She's now kind of doubled back all the way over to the Charge Flame tree, and I believe she did not come up through the top of Spirit Caverns earlier, so I think this is her first visit over here, and she'll claim the Charge Flame tree now. Kirefel heading over into Swamp proper, having both Stomp and Charge Jump. Trojan checking some stuff in Grotto. Cleanfel doing the same but slightly different stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And this is actually a nice opportunity for Cutie to save these 4 keystones that everyone else had to spend in order to get through here. And that'll be nice to have later. Maybe saves a key dupe. We'll actually see if she bothers to get this teleporter here. Might actually just try and skip it entirely.
I'm gonna guess probably not. Yeah, she just walked straight onto it. It's pretty nice to just get this teleporter in case, if you ever have to use it again, it's stupid if you don't if you have skipped the cutscene, because it glitches out your Spirit Flame, and nobody likes that. And there's a good likelihood you might have to use it later. Why not just eat the stupid cutscene? Most people are gonna do that anyway.
Oh, and Kirefel just found a Water Vein Shard over at the Stomp Tree. It's the Charge Jump pickup to the upper right. I believe that's the second one that they found. However, that means we now have 3 around the map, although I've already forgotten where they all are.
I believe the third one, I know the first one was just trivially in everyone's route on the 4th health cell. I believe the second one you called earlier was on Valley Entry on the Stomp Cell, and Rue just picked that one up. So that leaves the third one being the Charge Jump pickup above and to the right of Stomp Tree. So yeah, 3 Water Vein Shards known to us as commentators, 2 known to each team, and we will see who is the first to get their third. That is a confusing sentence.
Yeah, so looks like Team City Escape needs to make their way towards Stomp, and Fellows need to make their way into Valley Entry, and at that point, both of them can head into Ginso and see what they can find there. Of course, there's 2 more somewhere around the map, so they might end up actually finding a totally different set than we were expecting.
Distinct possibility, and of course, you know, we've got other keys in play. We could end up finding the entire Guman Seal before we see another Water Vein Shard, and maybe Forlorns to play. Kappa.
I do see that. I'm assuming Rue doesn't have a Mega Energy, and actually has 5 energy, which opens up all of the energy doors around. I don't think anyone did any energy glitches to get into the one in Lower Grotto, so they'll probably need to do a revisit down there for the plants as well as that energy door.
Yeah, I'm unsure as well. We have, we'll see, of course, in the near future, next time she spends energy, whether it's real or not. That looks pretty real to me.
Yep, and we do see Clean is actually checking those plants right now, but only has 3 energy, so unless he chooses to...
well, now he has 4.
Oh, that is a very convenient energy cell right there.
Speaking in the top right, speaking of that that Grove teleporter, we do have Kirefel skipping that cutscene, so he can still get access to, as mentioned earlier, he can get access to teleport to this teleporter, but now it'll be kind of glitchy if he does, and you know, maybe that'll come into play. Might not matter too much. It's always impossible to say until it actually happens, so we'll find out how that goes. But Clean, meanwhile, is going to wrap up this lower section of Gumo's hideout here, and Kirefel does find the complete Water Vein for his team Fellows, so Cleanfel will be able to get his 3rd Water Vein Shard before too long as well, and that will grant their team access to the Guman, wow, the Ginso tree.
So it'll be interesting to see how quickly they go and start exploring that. Looks like another energy cell, and I didn't actually see the second pickup, but not much down here behind the 4 energy door in Grotto. Not much of anything in this area of left Grotto, some energy ability cells and whatnot.
Yeah, and, we've kind of gotten nearly everything there is, Meldon, like as far as progression goes, right? We're only lacking 3 skills, just a couple shards, so it's going to get a little bit sparse from here on.
Yeah, at this point, how fast would you start just rushing trees, knowing that you only need some Sunstone shards to actually finish the game?
Especially in doubles, I would immediately rush towards trees, but oh wow, okay, so I didn't comment on this because I didn't know how important it was going to be. Cleanfel took a death on his way out of that hideout redirect section, and it sent him all the way back up to the rock fall earlier, and I thought that wasn't going to be a big deal because I thought he didn't get anything that he felt like he needed, but unfortunately he actually did feel like he needed to double back and get a bunch of things, so that's a pretty big time loss for him, having to re-navigate a lot of those sections.
That's very unfortunate. We do see Rue is at the Stomp Tree, so could definitely go over and check for this last Water Vein Shard, and that'll give Team City Escape access to the Ginso Tree as well. And Trojan's making a check for the Gladezer.
Oh, why? Why?
I feel like we've seen a lot in this first week of the tournament. Teams making checks for these very slow one-off pickups, and they actually pay off. So I guess I can understand in the wake of that you want to just always check everything, but this is a very slow pickup to get.
Yeah, and oh. What is happening, dude? Okay, Trojan manages to pick it up. It is just 49 experience points. Not the most valuable pickup. We've got a lot of interesting stuff still going on. Kirefel in the Ginso tree. Cleanfel in lower Blackroot, checking some of these pickups. Kirefel gets out of bounds.
I'm not. Oh, I see where he is.
I think the only way to recover this is you actually have to reload the file. So that's good old. Oh, and there's another water fin shard for Cleanfel on the left side. He manages to find one at the far right ability cell in Blackroot, in lower Blackroot. So, whew, and wind restored for Kirefel on the right in Ginso. So tons of pickups. Clean should actually be good on the water vein now, with just either the Valley entry one or the one in Swamp. He won't need to get both. And Kirefel, meanwhile, picks up the Bash Tree.
Yeah, and we'll see if he continues on where they do still need some Sunstone Shards. I think it makes a lot of sense. This is a great, dense area of pickups. And kind of curious that, or interesting that this play for Cleanfel, coming out and check these pickups, actually paid off with the Water Vein Shard. It's not a super dense area. Oh, I guess he still needs to get the Light Grenade tree, so it makes a lot of sense to come down here.
That's a good point, and he does collect Warmth Returned, lol. But also on Trojan side in City Escape, he checked the 4 energy door in the Spider Sack area, and he actually found a Sunstone Shard. You actually see him stop there. And again, you know, we talk about this during doubles matches. A lot of the times, one or, you know, the other player on a team will just stop in place. And you'll be like, why aren't they playing? What are they doing? What they're doing is they're almost certainly literally writing down the location of a given pickup that's important. Either on paper or like putting in like a Google Doc or something, but some way just tracking the important pickups so that they can't forget, so that their partner can't like miss out on something.
Oof, and Trojan kills that spider, which will prevent him from checking the couple of pickups up above there. I guess he only actually has access to 1 right now, as he doesn't have Grenade. And Rue is most of the way to the Bash Tree, and we'll hopefully find this Wind Restored pickup that will make all of Valley a lot easier if you don't find Bash.
Oh, Clean! Oh my gosh, he lured the Baneling to the. Oh gosh, Clean! Stop doing it. The Baneling is killing you, dude. Just let the Baneling explode. Okay, there we go. Oh, the laser!
Stopping this jump pad is such a bad idea. Oh, there we go. He decides to charge jump instead.
Oh boy. Okay, that was an exciting time. All right, we still have more exciting things going on. Kirefel actually finished off the second half of Ginso. I got to admit, Meldon, I have. Oh, okay, that's important. Yeah, I missed that entirely.
Yeah, so he's been checking some of the grenade pickups around here. Looks like he's checked the water one and the one immediately above the start point. And Trojan is going. He's not going into the Ginso tree. I guess he doesn't have the water vein, maybe?
Yeah, I'm guessing he hasn't collected his last shard yet. I believe Rue was the one to find it for their team. I'm not sure which of the ones was their last one, but looks like Rue, obviously having been able to find it, she's continuing up the Ginso tree, should find Grenade before too long. We'll see whether... I don't believe she has sufficient keys to continue up even further, but we'll see if they even want to do that. And as for Trojan's part, I see him heading towards Swamp, so I think this is a Stomp Tree play for him, and he'll probably get his final Water Vein shard from this location. Okay, looks like having collected what she's going to collect, Rue is heading out of the Ginso tree, and I believe Grenade was there along the way, but I guess actually I just straight up have no idea.
Looks like Grenade was one of the pickups in the 4 Keystones.
That seems likely, yes.
And Kirefel has now returned to Valley, this time much more successfully, able to check more than just the single pickup. Has stomped the rocks to get his feather, which is another one of the so-called trees. It's not quite a tree, but we still count it as one. Trojan has his last water vein, so he can head to Ginso. He can collect his grenade. And we see, looks like Rue is heading into Valley as well. So all of our runners are going to have to do some interesting stuff to get through some of the parts of Valley here without Bash.
Yeah, we'll see if they manage to find Bash somewhere along the way. It could definitely be on the left side of the map, potentially with get it?
Right now, without the Sorrow TP, I don't believe it could be past the Valley Teleporter, because
Yeah, I think
that
you're
logic
correct.
path requires Bash.
And so Rue is gonna be attempting to journey through this right valley section with only charged dashes and probably some rocket jumps. This is definitely possible. This is what Kirefel did, but it's certainly not trivial by any stretch.
She has safely made it over to an area where she can save, so she can get a little health back, do another damage boost, and that should help her get up this last little bit. Health regen really doing work there. She has a sliver of health right now.
Surviving with an entire 0.1 health. Beautiful. And meanwhile, we have Kirefel deep into Sar already, so he's saying, who needs Bash? I'm just going to go up here. Unfortunately, in this one specific case of this one specific pickup, you kind of do want Bash. Now, he could rocket jump to it, and unfortunately, the bird dies. So now he can't do that, alas.
I did notice he did successfully get the frog to shoot the floor that he was dancing around, but of course he has stomp, so that wasn't the most useful thing to have happen.
Okay, this time
he's just gonna kill the frog.
Yeah, frog murder is occurring, so that this time he can salvage the bird and maybe rocket jump up. And he checks another map stone. I'm not actually sure how many maps Team Fellows has checked, but it looks like not very many. I see 3 on the tracker, which is just kind of surprising at this stage of the run.
I actually don't think Kirefel has any maps right now, so he's kind of at the limit of the maps he could check. And looks like Rue is also heading up into Sorrow. Trojan is working his way through Ginso, while Cleanfel is now found Grenade. I'm a little curious he saved the grenade pickup for the last. Maybe only knew that it was one of the keystones and not which one.
Oh, man. It was pretty funny, too, the way he kept... he managed to barely avoid certain ones of those pickups. It's possible Kirefel hasn't checked this particular pickup yet, because now Cleanfel goes to check it. And unfortunately, it's just XP. A lot of XP, so that's nice. Meanwhile, Rue is now heading over to the left side of Sorrow, which is the same place Kirefel has just gone, kind of maybe realizing that he wasn't going to have a whole lot of success on the right end of Sorrow. So now he's heading over here, and we're going to get to see these keystones in this little section here after a little bit more frog murder.
Interesting that Rue is skipping a good number of these pickups over here. Actually skipping almost all of these pickups over here. Just kind of heading straight towards this laser. Kirefel is being much more thorough, checking everything he can. The grenade pickup, this door. And we'll see if this ends up paying off. There could be a pickup in these upper keystones.
Yeah, so far he's found nothing, just XP. But, I mean, maybe the strategy for Rue is, let me just get to the tree as quickly as possible, and then I'll worry about pickups afterwards. And none of the keystones being particularly useful for Kirefel. The energy cell is just a keystone, so there's nothing there. Like that decision, and in fact, Rue leaves, actually. She might not be able to actually get through Sorrow without having Stomp and without having Climb to do a Climb charge jump, without having Bash to either manipulate the Tumbleweed or to do the frog strats in the first rooms. She just might not be capable of actually navigating the area, in which case, you know, she just says, I shouldn't waste my time on this.
See, I would expect that Trojan knows about Terror Break and that he knows you can use it in this area, and he might remind her of that, and if she makes a revisit to Sorrow later, she'll end up doing that to get through that area. But we'll have to see. It's not the specific ceiling that people are used to breaking in all skills, so Trojan might not be aware of that specific trick.
Speaking of, meanwhile, Kirefel is attempting to stomp the Tumbleweed further up, and this is not, I mean, it doesn't look easy, but it is not as easy as it looks. It's harder than it looks by a lot. So this is proving pretty annoying for Kirefel, and he keeps having the rock just fall back on top of him. Rue, meanwhile, she has chosen to head into Misty. And we also got a call out from the truck that there was a Sunstone Shard which showed up at the bottom of Valley, which Rue claimed. And there was also a Sunstone Shard much, much earlier in the game, which we actually missed out on, but our truck folks did not miss out on. And so actually, Team City Escape has their entire Sunstone now, so they are good on keys, and theoretically, they could be in go mode.
Oof. Rue takes a rough death, gets sent all the way back to the Valley Teleporter. Having a little bit of trouble with this Frankie and Sit-Shoot Shark not having Bash in this area of Misty. We're definitely starting to see kind of some lack of experience with some of these more strange skill combinations you can get in the randomizer showing.
Yeah, that's very, very common to experience until you've done quite a lot of seeds, and I mean quite a lot. Like, you might have experienced getting, you know, no bash and no climb one time, but one time isn't enough to get comfort with a given like skill selection. It's only enough time to get familiarity. Oh yeah, I've done that before. But it can be very, very difficult to just say, well, I've done that once before, and therefore I'm just good. And so sometimes that's what you'll see in some of these races as runners kind of run into these situations that they just have only run into one or a handful of times before.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And she does make a nice save after this first keystone, able to get a little bit of health back. Of course, having glide and double jump is so nice in this area of Misty. All of these spike sections are kind of, I say, easily completable with just those skills. Easy being avoiding the spikes that will kill you if you touch them.
So in the meantime, we have Kirefel working on Misty and Cleanfel working on this valley section to be able to get to Feather. Not very easy. Involves a whole bunch of rocket jumps, a whole bunch of health, because damage boosts are very, very likely to be required, and he is almost able to make it up. Unfortunately, just sniffs those spikes a little too closely, so he's going to take another death. And he will be trying to you know, get all those movements strung together so that he can make his way through, while Kirefel is basically just kind of playing catch up with Rue right now.
And they are nearly the same locations. Rue passing back by as Kirefel goes to watch the Azu's Torch cutscene. Very close. And looks like Rue might have finally decided to start skipping some of these pickups. Knows that nothing she's looking for could be in here, and they don't actually need anything to finish this seed.
Meldon, I'm looking at our tracker, and I'm sure that our tracker, IS2, is working on you know, stuff today, is on top of things. But has Fellows really found 0 Sunstone Shards?
So one of them was the wall jump revisit. There's one in Lower Valley, and I'm trying to remember where the third one is, but I don't think they've been to any of those locations, and there's just some nasty one-offs.
That is really rough. All 3 of those were in pretty attainable locations, but yeah, you know, you'd have to go back to the wall jump tree and get that XP from charge jumping up there. You would have to go to the spider sack area to open the 4 energy door, and it just seems neither runner ended up doing that. And Cleanfel does now drop to the bottom of Valley, and he does collect that Sunstone Shard. So that is 1 out of 3, which unfortunately is less than 3 out of 3, if I recall math correctly. So that is a rough position for Fellows.
That does sound correct. I think your math is good.
Thank you. You like study math or something, right?
Oh yeah, and I'm very sure that in most cases 1 is less than 3.
Okay, thank you.
This shard was the most likely for Fellows to find. The other 2, as I said, are nasty revisits. So hopefully there's some other shards, maybe towards charge jump, or Kirefel's checking this back half of Misty, so there could be a shard here. Otherwise, it could be a while before they go back and check those, and this could be just the advantage that Team City Escape needs to take this match.
Yeah, we'll see. Cleanfel is doing some fun stuff here, attempting to make use of... Oh, that's a huge death. Oh, my goodness.
That's very unfortunate.
So he was attempting to make use of a Baneling Charge Flame redirect, to boost the Baneling over to break the way to the map monument. And I mean, you do want to check the maps, but man, like that one is just, it's really hard to redirect that thing with Charge Flame. I would almost just like rather abandon that. And unfortunately, that cost him a death. That sent him all the way back to the Valley Teleporter.
Yeah, and I haven't noticed that Kirefel's actually found anything in Misty, so he's now looks like he's going to check this last grenade pickup. Probably won't go any further, but this is kind of a lot of wasted time that didn't turn out to get them anything.
Yeah, and that's the tough part about randomizer is you just never know which specific things are going to turn out to just be a waste to do, because obviously it's random. How would you possibly know?
It's really easy in hindsight to look and be like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone there. There wasn't anything useful, but you don't know that before you try.
Yep. So this is going to be that potential last check for Kirefel here in Misty, as Cleanfel is working on. Nope, he's going to move on, man. He's going to check. Nope, just kidding. All time.
Yeah, I think he makes the correct decision. Even if you do find a shard there, do you really want to make your partner go and walk all the way to the Gumon Seal just to get it?
Yeah, exactly. It's such a huge amount of time. So that makes sense. Rue being back in Sorrow, she is now checking these pickups on the left, and she finds her grand total of nothing. Maybe she wants to have Bash, and Trojan says, I can finish without it. In which case, I wonder if, you know, as a doubles team, if that were the case, I don't know if it is or not, but if that were the case as a doubles team, do you think you have Trojan continue to search and try to find it for her? Or do you think you have him just go finish as soon as possible, and then Rue kind of do, you know, either find it or not find it as she's comfortable with?
Man, that's a really tough decision to make. Of course, you get the advantage of being able to check so much more if you have two people, but having the kind of the guaranteed time towards your average is really nice. I don't think there's a correct decision. I think normally I would continue to search until my partner has what they need to finish, but I really can't say.
Well, we do have some, I don't want to call these revisits, but, you know, checks of garbage locations. Let's film that, by Cleanfel, who also decides to run directly into the face of that frog for some reason. But he is going to be checking the Glades Laser, which he just got, and it was crap. And also the grenade pickup, which is just an ability cell. So this might end up sending him to some of the crappier pickups, like that 4 energy door and spider sack on a revisit. But otherwise, it's going to be rough for them. Cleanfel's got 1 Sunstone Shard. Kirefel still is 0. Neither of them has the charge jump tree. Rue does not have charge jump tree still. I'm curious as to what's going to happen here.
We actually see Rue is in the fight room right now, heading into Lost Grove. There is a chance, I suppose they don't actually have clean water, but if it's somewhere accessible on the map, Bash could be down here. Otherwise, there's I don't think a lot down here that could be very helpful. Maybe climb is what she's looking for. It's tough to know exactly what she needs to finish the seed.
Well, Kirefel is heading in the same direction, so he's probably got the same thought. And Clean, meanwhile, doing a little bit of cleanup of some of Hollow Grove, gets a Gumon Seal Shard. His team's actually been pretty low on theirs. That's actually his first, I believe. And I think Kirefel had 1 before, possibly. He also checked the Horror Fields health cell. And in fact, he is going into Horror Fields, which I think is not in Logic Meldon without Bash, but at this point, you kind of don't care.
I believe at least some of these pickups should be in Logic with Charge Jump, Glide, Double Jump, but my knowledge of what you can or can't do is always a little fuzzy. And he definitely can check a lot of these pickups. He has the movement to do so.
Oh, that I think that might have been unintentional, but that was a very nice Baneling boost to knock the block off and then follow it down very quickly. So that was pretty cool. And he actually is going back up instead of checking the pickups down there.
He might be checking the plant in this far right energy cell first, and then he's going to alt R from the very last pickups. Oh, he gets stuck in some roots there.
Is that a Sunstone Shard? Are you kidding me?
So this actually pays off. It's not Bash, but it's probably the next best thing for his team, which is the Sunstone Shard.
That's incredible. So now, good thing he rekindled just there. So that puts them at 2. They just need 1 more, and there's a Water Vein Shard in case they, didn't have enough of the other 4 that they'd already found. Kirefel is still working on Lost Grove here. Rue finished up. Without Climb, Kyre's not going to be able to do a grenade jump to skip this trigger here, so he's going to have to manually cutscene skip here.
Looks like he's going to make a backup of his save.
Oh my god, it's Bash, dude. It was in the plant to the right of the teleporter in Grotto. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well, I think with that, we know that Cutieroo can finish this seed. So, looks like Trojan is already in Sorrow. I assume that, yeah, Cutie is teleporting to Valley Teleporter, is grabbing this frog to jump on up, and they will be able to grab, I think this is the last tree for both of them. Ooh, unfortunately, kills her frog.
Trojan needing to do a quick bit of keystone duplication. Pretty easy to set up on this particular door, fortunately for him, and it's very quick. So he will collect all the keystones he needs. I'm not sure what his current tree status is. It looks like he's already good on keystones, and we'll find out how many trees left after charge jump, but I think he's either done or close to done.
So Cleanfel is in the spider sack area right now, but doesn't have enough energy to open this door. I can't tell. It looks like he has like 3 energy and a little extra. Yeah, isn't quite able to open this.
He's just gonna wait it out. So this is gonna be the final Sunstone Shard for Fellows. And Trojan, meanwhile, he's got 2 out of 3. He's still short 1, so he needs to go pick up 1 of the other ones. And
hopefully he knows where that Sunstone Shard is. He's sitting on his map right now, so might be talking with Rue, seeing what she has written down.
That's not a good sign though. Just that moment of uncertainty, that tells you they might not know necessarily.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. It looks like he's heading to clear Lower Valley. I think there's a Sunstone Shard down here that he hasn't gotten if he hasn't gotten these pickups.
That's correct. So, there it is. He's done.
So does manage to figure out where the last shard he needs is.
Well, that's it for Trojan then. He will be able to head to the final escape and start finishing up. And then Rue, I missed her tree count just a minute ago, but I think she's either done or almost done as well.
Yeah, we'll see where this teleport goes. If it's to Swamp, I believe she is done. It's to Hollow Grove. Does she still have to get the Charge Flame tree?
No, I think there's the Sunstone Shard in the energy door as well.
Oh, of course, yes.
And Kirefel collecting his Sunstone Shard from behind the energy door, so he is making good progress, and he has got 2 out of 3. I think he just needs to go get not the Valley one. I think he needs the other one that Clean just found that I already forget where it was.
Yeah. Oh, it was in Horu Field, so he'll actually probably grab that on his way to Horu.
Okay, so we're gonna see. Rue is that's it. She's heading to Horu as well. So Trojan and Cutieroo are in great position right now. Cleanfel still needing to finish up Misty Woods and then probably Charge Jump Tree after that. Not having the Bash skill that we know was from the plant to the right of the Grotto Teleporter, which is a really not great location for it.
Yeah, and looks like Kirefel is he getting? Oh, this is a nice backup. He's doing the old reverse event order rocket jump to break the ceiling with this frog. Looks like he's not able to get the frog in quite the right position.
Oh boy, this is a tough strat. As we have Trojan Dude beginning the final escape, just going to have a very easy time of this. He won't be able to grenade jump at the end, but Climb is otherwise pretty irrelevant for the final escape, and Bash is going to make it very straightforward. And Rue now, having completed Door Warp, she is also heading into the final escape. and she will get started momentarily. Trojan having dirty water, but no big deal, Melvin.
Yeah, he has plenty of health to get through this. And Kirefel's second attempt here is a little more successful. Looks like he had the frog almost in the right position. But he's rocket jumping a little too soon, I believe. I haven't actually done this trick myself in a long time. And definitely don't see this very often.
Ooh, quick dip in the lava there for Rue, but fortunately, I mean, effectively, she kind of has infinite-ish time. It's going to be a while before Clean and Kyre make it through here. It looks like they both remembered now that terror breaking is possible, so they're actually both going to set up a terror break and go take an intentional death with a charge jump into spikes so that they can break through that ceiling there.
Looks like they don't know the easiest location to die. They have found... Oh, they had found another location that would work. There we go. Kirefel has gotten it. Clean is...
Rue's finishing up, but she's got Kuro, but she is okay. She is able to make it to the end. So both members of Team City Escape having finished up, and they will be able to claim victory here tonight, go to 1-0 in the doubles division, and unfortunately Clean and Kyre will drop to 0-1.
Yeah, Clean's still having a little bit of trouble finding a location to complete his terror break. He needs to find a spot where he can charge jump upwards and then die in the middle of the charge jump. And if he should be able to do it here. Ooh, doesn't quite get it. His save might not be quite in the right position for the angle that he's jumping there.
So this is actually one of those cases where being able to be physically present with your partner, as Trojan and Rue are able to do, is a huge, huge advantage, because what Trojan would be able to do if Rue were in this situation is he would be able to literally physically point at the screen and say, from here, jump into the spikes here, and then charge jump up this way, and it will work. And that would be like incredibly efficient and quick. But Kirefel can't do that. He has an entire ocean in the way.
Yeah, they are very much on the wrong sides of the earth right now to show each other their computer screens. Oh, I actually I'm a little surprised that this isn't working. I thought that the angle he's getting here should hit the hitbox on this ceiling, but this trick can be very finicky.
All he really needs is jump directly into spikes and then jump from there. There you go. Oh, what? What? That should have been good. I am incensed, Melvin. I'm quite upset.
I agree. Looks like he's loading a backup, probably from before he spent his ability points. He still has one more ability point and plenty of things to level up on. He is getting a new save location and is going to go back to the same spot and try again. Oh, and he didn't quite count his health correctly, so he's going to have to try this one more time. This is, of course, always the difficulty of trying to learn a new trick in the middle of a race. Oh, and there we go. He's successfully through.
Yeah, you nailed it. Sometimes in a randomizer seed, you're just going to run across a situation that you've never run across before, and you're going to have to learn something on the fly. And, you know, sometimes it works out. You can get it pretty quickly. Sometimes you have a case like this. I mean, even in my race earlier today, my doubles partner had trouble doing a rocket jump that I was able to do. And it's like, well, we could have you sit there for a while and try to figure it out, or we'll just, you know, eat the time loss or whatever. But, you know, no matter what, it's just a tough situation to be in. So Clean and Kyre are doing their absolute best to make the best of that situation. They are both done. They both have their keys. Kirefel is already in the escape. Cleanfel will be there shortly. Ouch. Ooh, getting munched by a laser was Kirefel there, but not too much left to be super difficult here. Just the one part in that laser pillar room. So what he actually does here is he despawns Kuro by breaking the floor there, and then he jumps over the top, which prevents the next Kuro spawn from happening. That just makes it a little bit easier for him to get over here, but unfortunately, now he has to kind of double jump his way up this wall to be able to make it over. Oh, another unfortunate death there, though. I believe in you. Kirefel, I believe, in Cleanfel as well, to a lesser extent.
Cleanfel is almost to Horo. He will be joining Kirefel in the final escape as they both try to do this bashless escape.
I guess it's useful to note that Bashless Escape is not easy at all. There's great reason why Trojan and Rue searched as much as they did to find Bash. But that said, I think Clean and Kai are definitely both capable of it. We just have to see if they're able to deal with the couple specific problem spots that there are. Kai are already getting through the lava pillar, but the elemental room as well can be a trouble spot.
Yeah, the fire is very strange to damage boost in. You have to take damage and then jump at the right time so that you don't take damage again in the middle of your charge jump, because you don't actually have invincibility frames during all of it.
Clean checks the validation XP and gets climb.
I'm not actually. I guess that lets them grenade jump, so that could make some things easier in the escape.
That actually, yeah. I mean, if you're doing Bashless, that's actually potentially very, very helpful. That's the best validation check I've ever seen before. Oh my god.
I'm kind of curious now if Kirefel is going to save and quit so that he can go and get that and then redo the escape.
I was thinking about that too. I mean, you could actually, I think you can just Alt-R and even just come back. Although saving quitting's faster because you just show up right outside the door. But yeah, that's hilarious, dude. Oh my god.
What an amazing location for Climb to be.
Ooh, oh jeez, Clean getting a little bit overzealous with the charge dashes there and kind of flying around the room and unfortunately taking a death to the lava pillar. And he does. Okay, Clean, sure, yeah, wow, okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that way of skipping that.
Wow. Oh my gosh, dude. All right, so now it's Cleanfel versus Kirefel here, and we'll see which of them is able to pull it off first. This is, I joke actually, but it is kind of fun with your doubles partner. You end up in the escape at the same time to kind of make it a little bit of a race and see who's able to finish first. Although I do see Kirefel was in the water and he was able to get out. He just needs to finish up here.
Does he have any health left? I guess
yeah,
sliver.
0.05, more than zero.
It is only barely more than 0.
All right, and he appears to have made it to the end, so he will cross the finish line. Just needs to hold right for a bit. Oh, Cleanfel made it to the water swim section. I think he had taken just a little bit too much damage, so unfortunately that was a death for him. So sadly for Cleanfel, Kirefel wins the race between the two members of Fellows, and I'm sure Clean will never forget it.
It turns out that because Cleanfel doesn't have clean water, he won't win this race.
I'm sure he appreciates the humor in that.
I'm sure he's also very disappointed to not have clean water. I think for his second race in a row. And that was the pickup that he wanted to find. Did he just get a health drop from the fish?
Oh god, okay, getting Sigma rocked a little bit, but now he can set up for his final grenade jump, and actually, he could potentially have caught up to Kyra if he had been able to get here quickly enough in grenade jump, but he does not, so he'll finish up very soon. Just needs to get his grenade jump. There it is. That is the end for Cleanfel, so he'll be finishing up in about 40 seconds. What a hilarious finish, Melvin. All right, there it is. Kirefel crossing the finish line at what looked to be an hour, 2 minutes, and 15 seconds, give or take. And Cleanfel just about right behind. He'll be wrapping up. Just needs to waddle forward with Naru for a little bit.
I'm being told the official time, according to our restreamer, is a 1:02:12, and then a 1:02:48 for Cleanfel.
There you go. So a a pretty solid performance on a pretty difficult seed, especially the bashless aspect. But unfortunately for the fellows, Team City Escape doing a really, really good job of, just efficiently getting what they needed to get, and particularly finding the fortuitous bash pickup when they needed it to be able to finish up the seed quickly. So GG to Team City Escape. We will be joined by them very shortly, and GG to fellows as well. Again, City Escape getting to 1-0, fellows going to 0-1 in the Swiss round.
Of course, we do have 4 more rounds coming up, and teams need to go 3-2 or better in order to make the bracket. So, still a chance for both these teams. It's far from over.
Yeah, and even if even if someone gets eliminated, I mean, this is literally just all for fun anyway. So, the nice thing is everyone gets their 5 matches, and even if you go 0-5, at least you get to have 5 fun randomizer tournament matches broadcast live on the Speed Gaming channels.
That's very true. And I'm sure there will be some very fun fights in the 0-3 and 0-4 matches.
All right, well, for now, we are going to be joined by both teams. We are joined by Trojan and Cutieroo of the victorious Team City Escape, and we are joined by Cleanfel and Kirefel of the fellows. And congratulations to all of you on a great race. GG to City Escape on the win. And I'm going to start with you guys. Just tell us, how about Bash?
How about Bash? I should have, honestly, I was just telling her after, I was like, I'm so sorry that I was the one in charge of clearing Grotto and I missed that one section.
Oh, so that was your fault in this seed.
It was my fault, yes. It like, normally it's not neither of ours faults because we're just checking things, but that was legitimately my fault.
Perfect. So, Rue, tell us, how do you feel about nearly being dragged to failure by, by your partner?
Good thing I love him, but we have to be Team City Escape. We got to be teams, so it can't be all of his fault. I could have looked there as well. I mean, the brushing the trees, I think, was what helped me kind of suddenly realize, oh, hey, this stop method for rock is going to take way too effing long. So
I can agree. That method is awful.
Yes.
It's just terrible.
I know how to do it, but it's just
Yeah, I heard Kyra did the same thing.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So I am curious, the fellows eventually decided to just terror break to get through the ceiling to get up into Upper Sorrow.
Yeah.
Did that occur to you guys at any point, Trojan or Rue?
I did not know about this.
No, but now it makes sense because you just terror break the Sunstone one and you do the same thing otherwise. I don't know. Where are good spikes to do that on?
The left side where you redirect a slime. That's
okay.
that's where we did it, but then
you
maybe
can actually die on the spikes on the platform just below there. If you do a charge jump on the very left side, you'll take damage.
Okay, yeah, we've never. I personally have never done that before, but yeah. Well, now I know.
Yeah, definitely a very creative way of figuring out how to finish this seed.
Yeah, kudos to you on that, guys. That's really clever.
So,
Thank you.
Going over to the fellows, you guys pretty much really, I can't even say that you guys played any worse at all than City Escape. You were very, very close as far as pretty much all the progression, except that Sunstone took you guys a while to find. And I want to ask you guys, how did you feel when you were very, very deep in the seed with no Sunstone shards?
Yeah, we were quite quite shocked. I mean, we did practice earlier, and we're like, oh, the shards are easy, but in this race, no. I was basically 2 trees down. I'm like, oh wait, where's any of the Sunstone? So I abandoned the rest of the trees in order to find them, and they were in some pretty top tier spots. Love that progression vault, and then we're basically done with that, and then you gotta love climb.
That was an amazing find. I'm very glad you decided to check the validation XP.
It's why not? Both finished, so decided before like Kai was already in it, but I'm like, oh, let's check it, and I'm like, oh, amazing.
Kirefel, I want to know, did you, for like even an instant, think when Clean found the climb, maybe I'll exit and reload and go get it?
Yeah, but my pride wouldn't let me.
Perfect.
Well, in the end, you did win the race in the final escape between the two of you. So.
Oh, yeah, pretty close, but nice.
So going back to City Escape, Trojan and Rue, I like the thing that you just mentioned, Trojan. You said that you were like in charge basically of like your responsibility was to do Grotto. I'm curious about how you guys strategize that like division of stuff. Is there like a way that you say like, okay, your responsibility is you're just doing this entire area, and if there's anything there, just go do it all? Or like what kind of strategy do you use for that?
I'd say it's like very situational. I think when we have like bash and climb charge jump, we pretty much just split down the middle. Like, okay, we're going to go here and you're going to go here until we find the thing that we need. In this seed, it was very unique because we were fine, but we didn't have Sorrow Teleporter and we didn't have a thing to break. Outside of now we know the Terror Break thing, we can do that. But
We didn't have climb.
yeah, we didn't have climb or anything like that. So we were just like, all right, you already have, I think it was because she had more ability cells than I did. So I think she got to Ultra Defense really quickly. No? Oh, okay. Well, either way, I just told her like, just go push trees. Just go push trees. And I will just like clean up and find bash or something.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
So essentially what was happening was like, I was like, oh, we don't have bash, but you know what? We have stomp. So let's just do spider area. Let's go up. Let's go down. I found wind restored in Genso. So I was just like, all right, this is going to make Sorrow easier. But I really, really did not take into account the idea of, bash at all. So I just eventually I realized it. And I was like, all right, just go for the trees. And I was like, babe, can I go for the trees? And he's like, yeah, go for the trees. And then eventually I just started clearing what I thought was like, had more dense like things to look for. So in other words, like in Sorrow, there was a whole left side and I started doing that. So that's what eventually started happening.
Nice. And I think Kyra and I would love to hear where Bash actually was.
All right, you tell them, commentators. We were going to let you guys tell them.
My friends, Bash was located at, as my good friend Grumelius would call it, the Sicily plant.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does call it that. I forgot about that.
So if you don't know what plant that is, it's the plant that's just to the right of the Grotto Teleporter. So you go like up and around past the spiders,
So-
the stomp floor, and it's right over there.
So pretty much literally the only plant I skipped when I said, oh, I got Sea Flame. I'm going to go clear out the plants in Grotto.
I think
Yeah.
so.
So yeah,
Well-
that's that.
Well, for City Escape, do you guys want to know where Climb was?
We saw.
We saw.
It was a validation XP, and it was just magical.
That's
It was truly special.
That's so good. No clean water though, but that's fine. I'll find that later.
Oh my goodness. So, I'll ask. I think I'll ask this to the fellows, and I'll probably also redirect it for City Escape as well. But to the fellows, you guys, I know you guys haven't gotten a ton of direct doubles practice. I know you have been practicing on your own, but as far as your play today and how you guys were able to work together, what is your take on how you guys were able to gel as a team with that kind of lack of direct practice?
I mean, I'd say this fared pretty well with all the practice we did. We averaged around this time, the same time that we did in practice. So, we're like very chill, and I think it's it wasn't too bad chemistry, and I think we communicated well enough that like we knew what to do and when to do it. Kyra, what do you think?
Well, I reckon as long as we keep doing that, as long as we try and maximize the distance between us, basically, we'll be all right. I reckon.
Well, I'll redirect again that exact same question to you guys, City Escape, Trojan, and Rue. And particularly, I'm curious because I remember one thing that made me kind of blink for a second, and that was that when Trojan needed his last Sunstone shard, there was kind of a moment of hesitation there. And so I just wanted to ask if that in particular reflected any sort of like you had one stumbling block or anything. And then in general, how did you feel about, how your practice outside of the tournament has led into this result?
So practice, like all of today, we were practicing today. We had 2 seeds today. Essentially, one of them was a race, but essentially practice was going really, really well today. The communication between us, it does help that we're in the same room. I'm not gonna lie, because then I can just tell him, hey, I'm having a hard time explaining what this is at. My mind's going crazy. So then he just looks and he knows how I am. So that's a little bit of advantage there. But I remember we have these little cheat sheets that we're supposed to write everything down on. But eventually, like, I stopped writing and I didn't write down where
I also stopped
No.
writing.
Yeah, we both stopped writing. And we eventually, I was saying, he was like, oh my gosh, where's the sunstone, babe? I was like, I don't know. Where did you get the other 2? And then he was like, oh, I remember, it was down in Valley like you said. I was like, oh, thank God. So, that's essentially what happened there. I think it was just the adrenaline. And
Yeah.
I think that was what, even like, for some reason, he went to Drainful and checked there. And we were just like, oh, okay. But that was just honestly luck. And thank God for memory, but still.
Thank God for memory. Yes.
Agreed, dude. We had I had a moment like that in my doubles match. It's a deeply known feel, so definitely no judgment intended by the line of questioning.
Yeah.
Just but yeah, I think both of you guys, like both teams, did a really solid job today. So I was really impressed, and it was a really fun race to watch and commentate. So GG to both of you guys, all 4 of you guys, both of you team guys.
Yeah, both
Yeah,
all the people.
thank
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
GG to everyone. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Thank
And
you.
GG love all around.
All right, well, this has been a fantastic Saturday, Meldon. I feel like maybe we
It's
should do
actually
this
not
again.
Saturday anymore right now.
Wait,
for me.
what?
Well, for Kyra, it's like Sunday afternoon.
Need to catch up.
Well, that sounds to me like it's another day, and that sounds to me like we should have another day of randomizer.
We
my God.
do, in fact, have another day of randomizer. We have, am I counting this correctly? 5 matches tomorrow, starting at 11
That is
a.m. all the way
correct.
through 6 p.m., all on Speed Gaming 2. It'll start off with Matter Monkey versus Galaxy. Then we have Twice the Baguette versus Team Skillless, my own team. Twice the Baguette is Grease and Luther, and then Team Skillless is Meldon and Rory Rye. We followed that up with Terra versus Grimelios, the long-awaited 0-0 fight between those two. Then Fluffy versus Raziel, which is a rematch of the 3rd place match from last randomizer tournament. And then finally, we're going to get to see Sigma and Raziel, who are the winners of last year's doubles tournament, face up against J Hobbs and Rebel in the doubles match to finish off the day.
That will be a heck of a day. Several incredibly good matches to watch. Really, all of them should be pretty interesting. Having seen Galaxy's first kind of randomizer debut today, I think that match, which is at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Speed Gaming 2, that should be pretty cool to see between her and Matter Monkey. And of course, Team Skillless making their return from being the 2nd place finishers in last year's tournament. Should be pretty fun to watch. Terra and Grimelios, I hardly need to set up. I'm just very excited for the entire day tomorrow. And I can't wait to see you all there.